can start. And I'm sure people will join in as we continue.
Great. Thank you, Glenda. So to everyone who's on the line today, a very big thank you for spending the next hour or so with us. Each and every one of you on this call has in some way contributed to what we have been able to achieve over the last few months. Some of you have contributed in a particular aspect. So today, what we wanted to do is share with you the enormity of what the foundation has done, and to take this opportunity to appreciate and acknowledge every one of you, and to say thank you on behalf of the young children and the communities we support. I will, together with Cara, will give you an update in terms of our COVID response, and Jabu and Iris will share with you the other work that the foundation has been doing and the kind of long-term work that we continue to do. Just by way of housekeeping, I think Glenda is going to open up our Q&A. So there'll be a Q&A tab at the bottom of the screen. If you hover over the bottom of the screen, there's a Q&A tab. And throughout the presentations, you can type the questions. And at the end of our presentation today, Glenda is going to help us in answering some of those, well, not answering the questions, but at least facilitating those questions for us. There's also, you're also able to raise your hand, which for some reason I can't see on my screen. But there is a functionality whereby you can raise your hand. And at the end, again, at the end of the presentation, we're going to give you an opportunity to, if you'd like to, raise your hand, we'll unmute you, and you can actually ask your question live to any of us. So we will just, yeah, I think we'll start the presentation. Thank you, Cara. So the topics that we're going to cover today, I'm going to just take you through just as a kind of reminder around what our foundation philosophy is all about. I mentioned to you, we're going to share with you our COVID response, talk to you very briefly about the hunger issues that sadly are going to continue in our country for a long time. We are then going to look at just some achievements that beyond just the COVID responses that we've had. And then finally, just some opportunities to keep this connection and to keep connected to what we're doing. Thanks, Cara. So for many of you, you will know this, but the focus of our foundation, our real passion, is young children. And this is where it all started with COVID and as a result, our response. We place the young children at the heart of everything that we do. And our philosophy is that if you take care of a young child within a home, you in turn will change things for that home. If you change things for homes, you're changing things for communities. And so we place the young child at the center of everything that we do. And all, you know, whilst we have programs in food security, we have programs in youth development, they all underpin this work that we do in early childhood development. So that's really our philosophy as an organization. How we do things is we do things in a very collaborative partnership way. And I think you'll see, I mean, what we've been able to achieve over the last few months through COVID, there's no way that myself or my team could have actually done without the amazing partners and collaborative way in which we tackle things. I mean, the foundation last month in July was only 3 years old. We founded, RCL Foods founded the foundation 3 years ago. And the reason we founded it then was because we realized that we were restricted in a way by the funds that we could only receive from RCL Foods as a corporate social investment arm of RCL Foods. And we realized we had to do a lot more. And so we realized that the only way we could partner and collaborate in a much bigger way was if we set up the foundation. And so to give you an idea of the success of our partnering and collaboration, today, that contribution from RCL Foods is a significant amount, but we partner and collaborate on a much bigger scale, and probably about 30–40%, actually 60–70% is from other organizations that support the foundation today, which means that we are able to do so much more in those communities where we operate. And so you're seeing the success of our partnership and collaboration actually coming to fruition now. So that is just how we do things as an organization. Every single thing we do in a collaborative partnership way. When it came to COVID, we like yourselves would have read so much about, and you probably experienced because you guys have kids, is that children weren't going to school. Sadly, for a large part of South Africa, we're talking about 9.4 million children. The school feeding program is often their only source of food for the day. And with lockdown happening, the kids were obviously not being able to access that food. And so we, with our focus on young children, knew that we had to do something about that. And that is why we came up with the two approaches. First one, really focusing on food and how do we get to vulnerable children. And the second one being around, now that the children are at home, how do we help parents and caregivers take care of their children? And so Cara will take us through goal 2, but I will walk us through goal 1 and what we did within goal 1. Thanks, Cara. So I mentioned at the start, a very sad reality of South Africa is the hunger and the massive divide between those who have and those who don't have. But food is going to become, food today is really critical to some vulnerable communities across South Africa. Very sad, and some of you guys might have read it, but people being found dead in their homes because of hunger. Hunger is really getting to our most vulnerable people now. And we started this campaign around trying to get funding in, and we got a tremendous amount of support. The situation hasn't got better. It is worse now, and it is going to live with us for a long period of time. We see on a daily basis job losses. We see retrenchments happening across major organizations, across smaller organizations, and that sadly is going to exacerbate the hunger. I read recently as well that if you look at retrenchments are higher in the more vulnerable communities. And so the hunger situation, again, is just going to get worse and worse. What we as an organization have always been concerned about within South Africa is the stunting of our young children. So what stunting means? Stunting means, and you can see in that the middle of the slide, stunting means a child is too short for their age. The issue, however, it's not the physical stunting that's the issue. The issue is the cognitive stunting that results in on many issues. One of them is around food, but there's a whole lot of issues. So it's things like the safety of a home, a loving home, where a child is stressed, And statistically in our country, a very significant statistic, which is often not, people aren't aware of, is that 27% of our young children under the age of 5 are stunted. What that means is, as a country, 27%, say a third of our children will never reach their potential. We as an organization find that unacceptable in a country like ours. And so the hunger situation, so that was pre-COVID. I'm talking pre-COVID. Now with COVID and the increased hunger issues within our country, we know that these numbers are going to get worse. And so our children will be affected. And the long term of our country is going to be affected by that. Thanks, Carlo. But on the good side, on the positive side, because of what you have all assisted us with in terms of your support to our campaign, we have been able to change things for hundreds of thousands of children and their families across South Africa. And these are just some images of some of the work that's been happening across South Africa. When COVID hit us, and because of our passion around young children, our initial concern was obviously the young children and school children. But what we realized actually is that we couldn't avoid, we couldn't just focus on young children, and we had to take care of families. And in the previous image, you would have seen some work we've been doing with Kingsley Holgate. And Kingsley is taking our food into the very rural areas of KZN. And reports from Kingsley around the fact that food parcels through government haven't reached them yet. And so again, places a real critical need on civil society, on organizations like ourselves, on people like yourselves to really bring some relief to these most vulnerable communities. To date, we managed to provide over 5.3 million meals. Our campaign is around providing 10 million meals. And so Cara will share some stuff that we've been doing on television and radio, but there we talk about needing to provide 10 million meals. My team know that our ambition is certainly not 10 million, it's 30 million. We have to provide and continue to support food across South Africa. And that's going to be for at least the rest of this year. And certainly the campaign needs to run to the first part of next year as well. But this, everyone should take a bow for, because it was a real amazing achievement, 5.3 million meals so far to date. That food has been distributed across South Africa. So you can see on this map, the bigger circles are where most of the food is going to, but the smaller circles is obviously just where food has been distributed to. And this is all food through our foundation. So an amazing effort to reach all provinces across South Africa and really spread the love, do more love. Thanks, Cara. These are some, and I'd like to read them because I think, if I can see them, I'd like to read them because they are comments that we have received from people that have received our food. And so the first one is, I live with my son, 2 daughters and 4 grandchildren in a flat. We survive on my grant as they can't work now. We receive the food in silence as we are fortunate to receive porridge twice as well as eggs. We closed our doors to once again eat as a family in silence. Not that we did not want to share, but to sit together as a family. Even each and every household in our community shared in this donation, So the same applied to other households. When I read that, it made me realize and appreciate the food that I have on my table, and ask myself the question, how much do I appreciate that food? This is one woman that's sharing the appreciation for this food, and the fact that her family sat in silence in absolute appreciation that they received this food. And I thought that was, just unbelievable, and I really wanted to share that with you. The second quote and comment was, and these, I think this one was, the previous one was from Worcester, the Worcester program. This is from KZN, I think. I'm living with my mother and 3 children. We went through very difficult times during this time. Often I hear stories of insults from my children as they went to knock on other people's doors for something to eat. You truly restored a sense of dignity for us with this donation of pap. We received and was filled for several days without needing to depend on others. Again, the very, very sad reality of some very vulnerable families. And sadly, we're talking millions of people who are suffering in this way. And so again, I'd like you to also appreciate what you have done, because you have enabled dignity across many households, hundreds of thousands of households across South Africa. So thank you. This is a porridge which we are mostly distributing across South Africa. So again, phenomenal during a COVID time, a lockdown time, that RCL Foods, our founder, was able to assist us in producing this porridge. It's a sorghum-based fortified porridge, which we distribute. And obviously, being a porridge, it's appreciated by young children. But I think what's more interesting about this pack, whilst it provides obvious hunger relief, on the back of the pack, and it's quite small, but on the top right-hand corner, this is just a visual, but it actually appears on the back of the pack, are safety COVID tips. And this particular image you can see is where the safety tips are actually being used as a communication vehicle. So what happens is, in some of these communities where we're working, they don't have the same access to communication that you and I might have. And so the pack forms a really important part of going through how to keep safe during this COVID period. And so the rest of the presentation, I'm going to hand now over to Cara. Cara is going to take you and share with you about the Give It Up campaign that has made all of this possible. And then we'll go over to Jabu and Cara, Jabu and Iris at least. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Warren. As many of you are aware, the Give It Up campaign emerged as a way to help get 10 million meals to vulnerable children and their families during COVID. The results have been phenomenal as we see more organizations such as yourselves committing to this goal and giving up all sorts of things to make this possible. This idea was actually formulated by our amazing strategic partner, the Hardy Boys, who provides their services pro bono to the foundation. All of your commitments to the Give It Up campaign has exploded the awareness around this goal and of the foundation. Everything that you've given up has, it's had a massive impact on providing more food to more vulnerable families during this time. I'm just going to go through some key highlights and examples of how the organizations or how you all have taken up this challenge. I wanted to start off with the TV campaign that was produced and aired pro bono. 2 brands have given up their TV space to help spread the message. Rama and now Bradlow's I'm just going to play the Bradlow's examples that will be aired during the upcoming month.
Create your dream home at Bradlow's with quality and guaranteed savings. Bradlow's has given up this advertising space during the COVID-19 pandemic. So we can do more to provide 10 million meals to vulnerable children and their families. Every rand that you give up will help us provide those meals. We need to do more today.
So a really nice, short and sweet TV ad. It's been amazing. It's our team was all sitting when the Rana version of this was actually first shared. We couldn't believe that we actually saw the foundation on TV for the first time, what people were giving up and what this actually meant for our beneficiaries. So in addition to the TV campaign, radio stations have also given up their airtime to help spread the message of Give It Up to Do More. These include Smile, Valley FM, East Coast Radio, Nkomazi, and Kaya FM. You will also find the foundation logo and Give It Up call to action at 5,000 stores across South Africa. These brands are all part of the Pepkor group. Customers are able to donate as little as 2 Rand, 3 Rand, 5 Rand towards the campaign at these stores, at the store till points, as well as on a few of their e-commerce sites. So the brands include Ackermans, Pep, Shoe City, Tacky Town, Duns, Russells, Bradlow's, Rochester, the list goes on. We are extremely grateful for Pepkor taking up this challenge. As you know, through this porridge, we are able to provide every Rand given up helps us provide a meal. So even 2 Rand is providing 2 meals. Organizations such as yourselves and other brands have also given up digital space on their website and social media, as well as space in their print catalogs or their print product catalogs. The media agencies and owners have given up about 4 million Rands worth of media space on billboards and digital screens in shopping malls, all with the same messaging. This was all made possible through Connect, PhD, Relative, and Media Connection. Again, super thankful for what they're giving up. The next one is actually the JD group. So Bradlow's, Rochester, Russell's, Sleepmaster, Hi-Fi, Corp, and Incredible Connection have actually given up space on their massive billboard at their office in Joburg, as you can see by the picture. And that's all just to help spread a message around this campaign as well. Businesses have also given up their profits, where a certain percentage of their sales goes towards the procurement of food through the foundation in support of this campaign. This includes Dromex, Bootywear, Belazar, and Jock Safari Lodge also gave up some bed nights in support of providing more food to more vulnerable households. We've also seen SA influencers who've hopped on board to add their 2 cents, using their voice for good and encouraging their followers to give it up to do more. So Kingsley, Jackie Cameron, as well as Sylvester. We've also seen individuals give it up to do more. I mean, the list seriously goes on and on. On an individual level, hundreds of people have given up their profile picture by adding this frame on Facebook. I encourage you all to please do the same if you are on Facebook. It's a really quick win for us and to help spread this message and rally everyone together around this cause. We've also been joined by the Holmes brothers in the effort to provide more food to more vulnerable children through the launch of the Do More Friday t-shirts, where every t-shirt purchased is 1 child fed for an entire month. So we've always had these t-shirts and they've run really well with our RCL Foods employees. I'm sure many of you have got them ready to wear this Friday. But Holmes Brothers have come on and made 3 really cool, funky designs. So these 3 shirts will be available in all Holmes Brothers stores. We'll also put them online and sell them internally. Barrows has come on board with this project as well. They provided all this point of sale pro bono, as well as the design, The Hardy Boys as well have come on board. They redesigned the box for us and really helped us spread this Do More Friday movement. So the basic idea is that by wearing the shirt every Friday, you become part of the collective that is improving society. It's about belonging to a community of doers, movers, and shakers, a simple way to show how I hashtag do more for young children and encourage other people to do the same. Vega has come on board to help amplify this Do More Friday campaign as well. Again, this is all behind one t-shirt is one child fed for a month. So Vega is actually onboarded as pro bono for this year's brand activation. So we look forward to some really exciting ideas on how we can amplify this campaign. And then the foundation has also been named the Golden Key International Honors Society Community Service Partner. Sorry, quite a mouthful. But essentially, we've been named their partner, where a lot of their constituency will come on board and volunteer with the foundation, offering their skills and to really rally members around this campaign. I'll hand over to Iris.
Hi, everyone. It's really exciting to have you listen to us today. I went through the participants list and was very excited to see many of our loyal supporters and partners join us today. Just a reminder, the Q&A session tab is open, so feel free to type in your questions even as we go along. In case you forget them by the end, we will take care of those questions. So yes, the situation is dire out there, but I'm here to reassure you that with your help, we're able to do so much more together. We've been so excited this entire COVID time to see how corporate SA, together with the NGO field, as well as private and employees, come together to do more. And a brilliant example of that was our recent Mandela Day campaign, which ran from the 13th to the 18th of July. What we thought was impossible was made possible only through collaboration of many, many partners and individuals. This year, together with Rainbow and RCL brand, we were able to deliver 1 million hot meals throughout South Africa. And that is, it at the first thought seemed impossible, but yes, we were able to achieve it with the likes of people just like you and many of our partners who's on the call, so thank you. We were able to do this with 26 nonprofit NGOs coming together, with 100 tons of rainbow chicken donated by RCL Foods and was cooked up at 329 soup kitchens across South Africa, throughout the 9 provinces. So really the whole Ubuntu Madiba spirit was felt this July through this 1 million hot meals. And as you can see on the right, on the left of the screen, all the amazing partners that helped us do this. So we're so grateful to be able to deliver on such a big mandate, but it again was only possible through all of you. So thank you. The other aspect of our Mandela Day was much closer to home with our focus of young children. We had to focus on getting our young ECD centers reopened to enable young children to be stimulated again and to come back to an environment of learning. And how we did that was to ask for collections of sanitizers and PPE for ECD practitioners, and together with funds to enable us to procure those items. Amazingly, we were received so well by the media houses and the print media, and we managed to get, actually that figure's changed a little bit, over 132,000 Rand in cash donated, together with hundreds of liters of disinfectants and sanitizers and masks, and at least 63 online volunteers across the country who said, this is me, I put my hand up, tell me how can I help and how can I volunteer and do this. We had an amazing online platform where people could digitally go and pledge their time to volunteer when it was safe to do so. So again, bringing technology and innovation into the Mandela Day campaign, which is usually more contact and engagement, people-to-people contact. But this year, due to COVID, we had to extend ourselves and come up with a more exciting and digital campaign, and it was absolutely successful and well received. Thank you, Cara.
Thank you, Iris. With regards to the second goal, the first being providing obviously 10 million meals to vulnerable families. The second goal, we really are focusing on ensuring that children are living in a stimulating, nurturing environment during lockdown. We've primarily focused on doing this by through parenting support material, as well as assisting ECD centers to reopen. When COVID hit us, there was a flood of incredible material coming through the early childhood development space, or the ECD space. Organizations of every size were offering up their materials completely open source to help support parents and caregivers during this time. Whether it was psycho-emotional support, resources for home learning, or simple ways of keeping children busy, you name it, someone had it. The problem was that this flood of information was quite overwhelming, and parents didn't really know where to look. I mean, I have to confess, even myself going through all this material, it was extremely overwhelming. So we really wanted to assist parents and try to see if we could problem solve around this. So we looked into, well, we therefore took on the task of vetting, summarizing, and finding easy ways to share these amazing parenting resources. We relied on resources coming through organizations like UNICEF, Nectar, Department of Social Development, Smart Start, Book Dash, and a couple other close ECD organizations that we work with in our network. Essentially, we took 3-page infographics, we put it into 30-second videos. We took lengthy kind of Word documents and put it into voice recordings in 4 different languages, focusing on making these messages easily digestible and helpful for the parent. This resulted in our Parenting Resource Center, which is on our website at the moment. Exactly like the slide described, it's really bite-sized messages, focusing on new routines, ensuring the continuity of learning actually happens within the home, promoting the parents' well-being as well as the rock in the household, and answering real questions that parents have of how to cope with this new reality. We also had a separate communication schedule with parenting messages that have been translated into a variety of other languages. If you would like me to send these through to you, you want to share them with your employees as parents, just pop me a mail and I'll send you through the link. It's all open source, so please feel free to use it as you wish. In order to further support parents and caregivers during this time, we use the learning material at our disposal, which has been created through our Repurpose for Purpose project, which we run with Barrows. Essentially, it uses excess business inventory to print these really high quality cognitive games for children between 0 and 5 years old. So we had a whole lot of stock available. We used our ECD distribution network to ensure that the materials, so the play materials that we have, was accompanied with the parenting, with the food parcels, as well as with our Wonder Bag project, which Jabu will speak to next.
Good morning, everyone. Like Warren said, when he started the presentation, that everything that we do as a foundation, the child is at the center. So you might be asking yourself, what has Wonder Bags got to do with children? So, during the start of COVID, we partnered with Wonder Bag. Wonder Bag is a bag. I'm not sure how much you know about the Wonder Bag concept, but it's a bag that is meant to save time for the mother. And it is also meant, to save gas. So the partnership we have with the Wonderbag initiative is actually geared towards the early childhood development space. So what we did during during COVID and the lockdown, we gave these Wonderbags with donated chicken to the ECD practitioners. Unfortunately, especially in Mpumalanga, the ECD practitioners during the COVID, lockdown did not get access to their allowances, which they usually get from government, which means that also they were in a situation whereby they were not able to, buy meals for their families. So the Dumo Foundation, in partnership with the Wonderbag, donated the Wonderbags to the practitioners, and we donated chickens. But we are going now to the next phase of the Wonderbags, whereby the Wonderbag is empowering our ECD practitioners and principals to be in a position to sell these Wonderbags to the communities where they live, which means that the families that will have the opportunities to buy the Wonderbag will firstly be able to serve guests, and secondly, they will lose up time to be able to spend time with their families. So what happens with the Wonderbag? For example, you want to eat beans for supper. What you do is that in the morning, you will put your beans in the Wonderbag. And then in the evening, when you open the Wonderbag, your beans will be cooked up. So we're really excited about this because it's good for the families in the communities, rural communities where we work. But secondly, it also gives the opportunity to the ECD center practitioners to make money for themselves, because in the second phase of the program, what will happen is that they will sell the Wonderbag for 100 Rand to the community. The ECD practitioner will be able to keep the 50 Rand for themselves, and the 50 Rand will go to the center to be able to run the center, which basically means that the center will become sustainable, because right now most of our ECD centers are so dependent on government that the minute government support stops, those centers will close. And what does that mean? It means that the very children who really need those centers will not be able to go to the ECD centers. Thanks, Cara. And this initiative is actually assisting us a lot in terms of reopening of the ECD centers. So right now, most of the ECD centers in rural communities have not been opened because they are not ready. So as a foundation, we are playing a major role. Like Iris highlighted, that we are dependent on you, our partners, to help these very ECD centers, to open. And, the good news is that as we speak right now, all the ECD centers, with support from you, our partners, are busy preparing for the opening of the ECD centers. This week, we actually received, cleaning material, sanitizers and masks, and those things for taking the temperatures that will help our centers to be able to open. But the bad news is that unfortunately most of our ECD centers will not be able to open for many reasons. You find that in some of the ECD centers, being of rural nature, what happened during the lockdown period is that maybe the toilet facilities that we're using, they found them all flat down because number one, they were not properly constructed. You find that in some of the ECD centers during the lockdown, the water tanks that they had were either stolen or they were broken for some reason. So we basically all have a role to play in ensuring that the centers are able to reopen and they go back, to that environment of nurturing. Because what happens to children when they are not in a learning environment, they do not get to be nurtured. And we believe that, with the support that you as our partners have been able to share during COVID, we will continue this relationship and make sure that this ECD center is open and these children go back to that nurturing environment. Thanks, Cara. So what needs to happen for us to continue? So we need to continue providing meals to these young children and the vulnerable communities in all 9 provinces. Because what is happening, in the rural communities, a majority of those parents have shared with us that they will not be able to continue, going to work, which means that the only meals that the children will be getting will be in an ECD center. We need to continue with our, parent support. So what is happening also in the rural ECD centers is that because of physical distancing, it's not all the children that will continue, will have to go back to the ECD centers. Some children will have to remain at home, which means that the parents will continue having the need for, for material. So we need to continue with the parent support of providing, learning material at no cost or at very little cost, because we know that the parents, do not have money. And we need to continue with our ECD center support so that the children will be able to return safely. Thank you, Cara. Another area where we are providing support is in the area of ECD staff support. The Wonderberg partnership is an excellent one, because in that way, the practitioners will continue to earn some sort of income for themselves. And we are going to continue ensuring that sustainable change is continuing within our communities and also in the national projects that we do. And also with our Give Up campaign, where together with our partners, we are putting resources together to ensure that our children continue. Thanks, Cara.
Cool. Thank you, Jabu. And thank you, Aris and Cara. This last slide really is a request to everyone who's online. And it's not a request for money, but it's a request for connection and visibility, and you to help us with connecting our foundation to people across South Africa. And so my request is to follow us on LinkedIn. For those of you on the call, follow us on LinkedIn, like us on Facebook, and check us out on Instagram. And if possible, share some of the work that we are doing. Share what you see, whether it's on LinkedIn or whether it's on Facebook. Share it with your followers too, so to increase the exposure the foundation is getting, and ultimately to help the young children and vulnerable communities across South Africa. That's our presentation for today. I really want to say thank you for being part of today's session. We would like to take some questions. I think Glenda's going to help us with those, and some we have tried to respond to during the session. And further to that, if anyone has a question, would like to put their hand up, you can put your virtual hand up, and Glenda will take you off mute, and you can ask your question. Hopefully we'll have the answers for you. So Glenda, are there any questions that our team needs to respond to that came through?
Absolutely, Warren. Cara, if I could ask you to stop sharing your screen, and then we'll move the presenters into a gallery mode. Yes, so we can all see each other. So Warren, there's been, yes, a combination of questions and some lovely comments coming through. Anonymous wants to know, will the t-shirts, I'm assuming it's the new lovely fancy ones, will those be available at some stage through the RCL shops?
So Cara, Aris?
Hi, so I think we can definitely look at that. Our idea is to definitely meet the market needs. And if that is something that our people want, then we must try and make that happen. So we will definitely look at that, but you are able to order directly from us and for us to courier directly to you. So you can still get the t-shirt, whichever means, but you can still get it from us. Thank you so much for that.
And you can, just to add to that, I mean, you obviously can buy them from the home stores as well. So I think there's about 6 home stores across the country, one in Johannesburg, a few in Durban. And all of the proceeds from the sales in the home stores also come to the Do More Foundation, which is amazing. Yeah.
Presenters,
Thanks.
if I can ask you to turn your cameras on so that our participants can see you. I'll take mine off and I'll manage the questions that are coming through. So some lovely comments. Ruth G, I can only assume that's our Ruth Grantham. Thank you for all the work that you do. Thank you for being our face. Joel Duckworth, Joel says, great initiative on the parenting skills. Can we partner with Vodacom or MTN to get this data free for those who cannot afford it?
Takara?
Absolutely, we are working on that now. We've submitted proposals, so yeah, hopefully that will be up and running soon.
Cool. Then Sia, good to see you, Sia. I noted that our annual Mandela Day activity was not done this year. Was it due to adherence to COVID-19?
Hi, Sia. I actually did reply to you, but just for everyone else's purpose, we had to make some changes in our campaign this year, and you're absolutely right. So the usual Mandela Day campaign where we went out into the communities and engaged one-on-one on the ground, we could not do that due to COVID restrictions, and therefore had to come up with a new campaign that allowed individuals to pledge their volunteer time and to go through to the organizations and volunteer when it was safe to do so. And alternatively, we started a collection for ECD's PPE material. So that you would have seen at some of the RCL sites where we've had Do More Heroes rolling it out for us. Thank you,
Iris. So Loretta has had her hand up, or I'm assuming it's a lady. Rametsi, you've had your hand up since we started the webinar. I am trying to unmute you so you can ask your question. If you can unmute yourself, could you unmute and maybe go ahead? Do you want to talk to us? No? Okay, maybe Loretta will join us another time. Theris says, excellent work. Well done, guys. To do this in trying times is only a blessing. From Anonymous, the Do More Foundation is doing amazing work. I'm really proud to be associated with the organization. He wants to understand, and maybe there's just clarification here, why the organization does not accept donation applications from non-profit companies registered with CIPC. He was informed, or she was informed, that only applications from NPOs with PBO numbers are accepted. And I'm sure you guys will know what he or she is talking about if you want to give us a response on that.
Hi, so I also try to respond to this one, but there are various criteria that we need to meet for various purposes, from tax to BE to SED, criteria that we need to meet as a PBR ourselves for ongoing support, as well as to be a conduit for funding and for support. So yes, there is criteria, and happy to engage further with Anonymous if they're wanting to email me, and I'll respond on the chat with my email content, my email address, so we can chat further. But yes, there is reasons for the criteria in place, but happy to engage further.
Thanks, Iris. From Vilo, just a comment, well done to the Do More Foundation for continually serving humanity at large, especially during the pandemic. Your selfless service is giving hope to the most deserving out there. Thank you, Vilo. Somebody's asking if a recording will be made available of this presentation. Yes, a recording will go to Cara, and I'm sure she will tell us how she's going to share that. Jill is asking again, how can Do More help bring CSI core to our brands? Maybe for you, Warren or Cara?
So,
Or your-
yeah, I'll tackle some of it, and then maybe Cara, you can tackle some of it. So the brands have been involved. I mean, you saw Cara spoke about the Rama ad, which has already happened. So Rama has actually given up a lot of their airtime to Do More. The brand teams have been involved in terms of the production of the Do More porridge. The marketing teams have been very involved in all the media side, so whether it's radio, whether it's TV, and so we obviously are in continual discussions with the marketing teams with regards to using the Do More on our branded products. I mean, you see some of that happening already in the likes of Ackermans. So I don't think that Cara mentioned it, but Ackermans are now producing masks, and all of on those masks, they're going to reference Do More, and and a rand for every mask that's sold will actually come to Do More. So other brands out there are actually adopting Do More and a positive association to social good and to purpose. So it is an interesting space. But we are working, to answer the question, we are working very closely with marketing, and it's been an amazing relationship and partnership over the last few months.
Thanks, Warren. Our participants are very interested in the T-shirts team, so I'm going to scoop up a few. They want you to make sure that they are available online in large sizes. They also want to know, will they be available to order via the intranet? They want to see pictures of the T-shirts. So Cara, we've got some work to do in that space. But yeah, if we can just maybe give an update about the T-shirts and availability and timing, etc.
Sure. So I'm thrilled that you guys are all excited about this new shirt. We are, we are in love with them. They are absolutely beautiful, and they wait until you see them in person. So we're actually getting them printed at the moment. As soon as they are ready and printed and packed into the new beautiful boxes, we'll send out comms internally and through our partners to let you know where they're available. We'll try and make purchase as simple as possible, also using our site heroes, which works really well. But yeah, we'll keep you updated, no worries.
Thanks, Cara.
Follow us on social media and you'll see the updates and all the information.
Cool. Thank you, Andile, for your question. What is your take on the viability and desirability of developing natural playgrounds at ECD centers in under-resourced communities?
Shabu?
Okay, thank you. So actually, we have actually explored the natural playgrounds. In Mpumalanga, we're actually working with Penridge, one of our partners, who have already started doing the natural playgrounds for ECD centers. So we are in the process of looking into that because they are much safer and more sustainable as opposed to the ones that you put up. So it's an area that we're looking into. I mean, is the person asking the question interested in partnering?
Andile, there's the challenge back to you. Get hold of Jabu or Warren. And yeah, maybe we can start a new initiative. So yeah, thanks for your interest and your support. Team, there's lots of comments just saying thank you, appreciate the work. Well done. Thank you for engaging with us and setting this up and telling us what's going on. There is another one around how RCL Foods employees can get involved more than just beyond payroll and beyond social media sharing. So maybe just talk a little bit about how RCL employees can continue to support the Do More Foundation.
All right.
Sure. I love comments like that and questions like that, because it means our band, our little Do More army is growing and growing. So there's various ways as an employee that you can help us do more. One, you can definitely be a Do More hero, which I see lots of our heroes on the call today. And that means that you're an extension of the Do More Foundation team, meaning you're rolling out campaigns at your site. You're the go-to person on site for any questions from other employees, and you're basically our team on the ground helping us to do more. So that's one way. Besides your contributions that help us to continue the work that we do via payroll deductions, you can also offer yourself in the sense of your connections. So a very good example is one of our new management trainees that just joined the business, and I had a coffee date with. Chatting to her, I found out that her mom was a CEO of a big corporation. Guess what? That company is a partner to us. So within your networks alone, you could help us do more. And that's just connecting us with the right people. You might hear of a campaign, you might hear of an opening for funding, or just keeping us top of mind, whether you're in the brand teams, in the marketing teams. Maybe there's an opportunity we could do, cause-related marketing through your brand, through your sales activations. There's various ways, but my suggestion is keep connected to us via Facebook, via LinkedIn, via Instagram, and see what we're doing continuously, and it'll spark ideas. And let's have a coffee date and chat some more. Or now let's do a Zoom date, should I say.
I was just going to say that, Iris, it's all about virtual coffees and virtual Zoom calls. But yes, certainly the platforms are available within Teams, within Zoom. Just reach out to the team, and I'm sure they would love to make contact with you all. Cara, the specialty team in Worcester wants to know the current Do More t-shirts. Are you possibly looking at maybe different colors going forward, and could those possibly be available?
Thank you, Walid. So we've got grey at the moment, but we've just done beautiful graphic designs on them. So the color is not changed, but the cut and the graphics have changed quite a bit. I'll happily share with you. We also have got now a men's cut and a ladies cut. So yeah, hopefully they'll bring a better fit for the ladies to show those curves.
Team, just to say that Andile is from Penreach, and Jabu, I'm sure you and Andile will talk to each other. Team, the rest are all just accolades and thank yous, and thanking you for your passion and for the inspiration. And even in lockdown, you've continued to do this amazing work in our communities. Warren, I don't see any other major questions. Remember that all these questions will be available in a report which will go to the team, and we know who's asked them, and I'm sure the team will be in touch. I just want to double check the other tab, but no, Warren, it's now just gone 11. I don't see any others. So yeah, over to you.
Great. Glenda, thank you for facilitating our questions and enabling the Zoom platform to happen for us today. To everyone who's on the call, we really appreciate your time. Thank you again. Thank you for your contribution. In some way, you have contributed, whether you're an employee within RCL Foods that's ensuring the sustainability of our business, to funders out there that have contributed, to people that have contributed via payroll, any donation, companies that have contributed. In some way, you guys have contributed, and in some way, our success is your success. So I'd really like you and just appreciate that. And then just a final thank you to my team. There is no way, what we have done over the last few months is been nothing short of unbelievable. So a very big thank you to my team, my team that is part of the Do More Foundation is obviously not all here, but to those of you who are probably watching, a big thank you. Just a final thing is look after yourselves. Please take care. Please stay connected. Use Facebook, use LinkedIn, Instagram. Stay connected to us and look after yourselves. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. That brings the webinar to a close. And yeah, stay safe and keep well. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.